Welcome to another episode of the Vegan Pulse. I am your host, Nancy Arenas. My guest today, Julia Devecchi Mas. She is the founder and CEO of Naanu products, which are 100% natural, vegan, and gluten-free cookies that provide you with your daily B12, D, omega-3, and more. Stick around. I want to introduce her to you. Hi, Julia. How are you out there in Switzerland?
Hi, Nancy. I am great. I'm so excited to join you today.
Oh, I'm excited to have you here. And, it's just great to share how people go from being a flesh eater to becoming a vegan. And so the question that I have to ask is, what is your journey into veganism, Julia?
I think I probably all my life I've been vegetarian on and off. So when I was younger, I visited a national park where we saw some animals during the day I had never seen. And at dinner, they were on the buffet. That was like my first introduction to like, wow, I'm never going to eat meat again. And I think maybe about 5 years around the time when Cowspiracy came out, I like watched that and I was shocked by everything in there. I mean, not oblivious to how animals are treated, but even things were like, what happens with milk? What happens with eggs? What happens with cheese? How does it affect your health? And so ever since, I mean, the day I watched it, I went and I researched, I read some peer-reviewed papers just to like, double check for my own sanity. And I was like, cool, as of today, I'm never again eating anything, which is, I mean, not the easiest thing living in Switzerland where it's like cheese and milk chocolate heaven.
Right.
But yeah, that's where it all began.
Right. So kudos to you for doing it even in a milk dairy centric kind of location.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, up until like 5 years ago or so, it was difficult in Switzerland even finding like vegetarian food. And I think especially now, it's like they're really caught up on like vegan food, vegetarian food. There's like several options nowadays, not like no option other than the French fries.
Or the salad, right? Or fruit cup.
Yeah, the salad. The salad. Is it okay if there's cheese on the salad? No, it's not okay.
I've experienced that. Here's a salad. Here, okay, I'll just take the cheese off. No, that's not how it works. Kind of a thing. So yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I was a heavy milk drinker. I always had to have my milk or I would die. I really wouldn't die, but it's because you get addicted to the milk because of what's in the milk. It makes it an addictive kind of substance to have. So that's one of the reasons why people have so much trouble getting away from milk and dairy and cheese, because already.
And all the messaging is there as well, isn't it? It's like you have to drink milk for your teeth or for your bones, which is not really accurate because there's so much more worse stuff than there is good stuff in there.
And is actually at points the opposite. It depletes your calcium instead of give you calcium. It has calcium, but it depletes it. So yeah, so all that misinformation and the fact that the governments are in cahoots with the meat and dairy to promote it, it's really kind of shameful on all the governments and all the organizations that push it, because especially on children who are, I think it's over maybe 70% of those children who are forced to have milk, like in school or in places, are lactose intolerant, or really they're not baby cows. And so for myself, I used to drink it because, like you said, you have all that propaganda. It's good for you. It's good for you. It's good for you. And my stomach couldn't handle it. So, I went from whole milk to skim milk, and then finally to plant milk, which is the best. Yes. Now, you have a very curious product, a company that is innovative, Naanu. Can you tell me about how you founded the company and what it's all about?
Sure. So as I said, I started on this vegan journey. And of course, there's lots of information about there about how you're probably missing things. And at the beginning, you're not really sure, how much of it is true because you've also heard all your life that milk is supposed to be good. And I think my mom just appeared with this list one day of like, these are all the vitamins that you're missing out probably, and you should be getting. And, here's the first one, the vitamin B12 tablets. And then this is the next one, the vitamin D, and here's some calcium and some iron. And then, these bottles of supplement pills just tend to like pile up. And I have a really hard time taking like preventative pills because if you have a headache and you take something, it's sort of like cause effect type of thing. It makes sense to you in your head. But if you're just taking pills, it kind of makes you feel like you're a sick person and you're meant to be taking all these things because you're not doing well, which just doesn't connect. And at the same time, yeah, I mean, I became vegan. I walked through grocery stores. I have very much a sweet tooth. So I love my cookies and chocolate and cakes and, anything with sugar. And suddenly I'm walking through like the biggest stores in the country and it's like, there's nothing in the vegan aisle. It was really like, I hadn't realized yet Oreos were vegan, but it was really like you walk through like the whole, 30 meters of like items and there's nothing there you can have anymore. And I was like, surely there should be something that is, an enjoyable treat that is tasty for vegans. You want to eat it. It is delicious and tasty. And at the same time, I was like, how can I make that something that is, beneficial to you, something that is still healthy, not like, let's be on the unhealthy side, but how can we make this better than what is already out there that is not vegan? And I just kind of put both of those problems together. I was like, cool, I'm going to make cookies, and each cookie, like one cookie a day is like 25 grams. Each cookie contains everything you need on a plant-based diet. So it has 100% of your vitamin B12, 100% of your vitamin D. It has omega-3, it has calcium, it has iron, it has zinc. And we just recently lab tested. They also contain vitamin B3, B6, B9. And I was just like, let's make it in a way of not like, oh, I should maybe today still take my vitamin B12, but I didn't, or I forgot, or I couldn't be bothered. But like, oh, it's another day. I can have another cookie.
Oh, no guilt. I can have cookies now.
Exactly.
And you've made them in several different flavors. So that way, if somebody doesn't like one particular kind, they could, check out another kind.
Yes, exactly. And we're switching now to only having like no added sugar cookies. So they're all natural. They're like sweetened with dates.
Okay. And you have like, I think you have peanut butter, you got chocolate chip, double chocolate. That would be my favorite. And
yes.
and then you're adding a new one, a spice cookie or something?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, there's a new cookie coming that is like almonds, raisins, and spices.
Oh, that sounds so delicious. And I won't have to feel guilty because I could go, I need to have my vitamins.
Exactly. And it's actually not only that, but like we tend to talk with our customers quite often, and it's very good to hear things like, I didn't used to take my supplements every day. And they're like, now that they're on our cookie subscription, they're like, I've had one every day. I've never missed. So it's like, wow, this is like music to our ears. We want it to be, I think that's why it all started actually. We want to make it easier to transition to plant-based diets. And that's why we're like, this part that sounds scary, that sounds like you'll be deficient and it can lead to bone issues and eyesight things that are not good for you, whatever it is that can cause an effect. We're like, let's put it in a way where it makes it easy and there's like less of a barrier to be like, cool, I'll jump on board and try vegan. And if I have these cookies one a day, then I don't need to think of anything else.
Now, as I said, now I know how not to feel guilty about having cookies every day.
Exactly.
That's a win-win, and get my vitamins.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And you started this company how long ago?
I started pretty much 2 years ago. Yeah. We're still new.
That's awesome. And so you are selling in Switzerland. Are you doing any orders online? Are you only in the UK, or are you, you know, can you order
Yeah,
from anywhere?
you can order them to the US. We actually at the moment only do online, so you can only order on our website, and we'll send it straight to you. And I think, well, I mean, we have a majority customers in Switzerland. We have some in the rest of Europe, and then we tend to get lots of traffic from the US, but no one orders. And I think it might have to do with the shipping cost. Being in Switzerland, shipping costs are something that are really expensive, so it kind of gets added on. But you can try it out.
And or we need to find someone who will get them into the stores here in the US so that we can be able to be sure to have our vitamins every day.
Exactly. Yes. Call us if you're that person.
Well, and I'll have links to your page and
Yes.
information on our social media pages and also within this podcast today. And I want to say thank you, Julia, for joining us and telling us all about your journey into veganism, but also about your innovative product of vitamins in a cookie.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'll send you a discount code for maybe we can like see if we can waive shipping to the US for anyone that comes in.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Sounds great. So thank you again. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye, Nancy.
Thank you for joining us in another episode of the Vegan Pulse. I am your host, Nancy Arenas. Remember to check out our website, follow us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have a pulse, you have a purpose. Live vegan.